Rav Bergman wants to explain to the Rav, in letter 22, a concept that's called borrowed vessels. Borrowed vessels. This secret can be understood based on a story that Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk, the great Kabbalist, once sent his son, whose name was Rabbi Elazar, to go and visit all the different tzaddikim, the righteous people that lived in his time. In the time of the Baal Shem Tov, in the time of Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk, there were many known tzaddikim besides the 36 hidden tzaddikim. In our generation, it's probably much more difficult to find known tzaddikim. But what Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk told his son, he said to his son Rabbi Elazar, I want you to go travel around the country, around the area, and go and spend time amongst the different righteous people who are alive today and learn from them, watch them and talk with them and study with them and gain wisdom, gain understanding, gain direction. So Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk, travels amongst all the righteous people, and everybody knows he's the son of Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk. Everywhere he goes, he's welcomed, he's taken in by the righteous people, and he's taught and directed and so on. One Shabbat, Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Elimelech, comes to Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz, who was again a great Kabbalist, and he's treated very differently than he is by all the other righteous people. As he comes in to Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz, he tells him, you know, I'm the son, his name is Elazar, I'm the son of Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk, who was a very well-known righteous person in that generation. And Rabbi Pinchas pays no attention to him. He treats him like everybody else. And he's there for Shabbat. He arrives there Friday, he's there for Shabbat. And throughout the whole Shabbat, not only does he not get extra treatment, positive treatment from Rabbi Pinchas Mikoritz, who was a great soul, a great righteous person, but he's treated even worse than everybody else. And it gets progressively worse throughout the Shabbat. Friday night is bad. Saturday morning is worse. Saturday afternoon is even worse. So that by the time it comes to third meal of Shabbat, Rabbi Elazar had probably one of the worst Shabbats of his life. He's been treated terribly, terribly. And he's so broken that as he's sitting sort of at the end of the table where Rabbi Pinchas Mikoritz, the great Kabbalist, is sitting with all of his students, he's in pain. And he blurts out, he's speaking to the Creator, and he says, oh, Father, look at my pain. He calls the Creator his Father. Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz hears this cry from Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk, and he says to him, how do you know that you're even worthy for you to be considered a child of God? Maybe you're so bad that God doesn't see you as his child. You call God your father. Maybe he's not your father. So of course this finished the Shabbat for Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk. He had the worst Shabbat of his life. Rabbi Elazar comes back to his father, to Rabbi Elimelech, and he tells him the whole story. He tells him amongst all the other righteous people he went to see how great it was, how much wisdom he gained, how much direction he gained. And he says, and I went to Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz, and he treated me terribly, and it was so bad, it got progressively worse, and by the time of the third meal of Shabbat, I called out to the Creator, I said, Father, and he said to me, Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz said to me, he says, how do you know he's even your father? Maybe you're so bad that he's not even your father. So when Rabbi Elazar tells his father, Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk, the story, Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk reveals to him a secret. And maybe this was the whole reason why Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk sent him to Rabbi Pinchas of Koretz. And he tells him, you should have answered. The answer to that question, how do you know he's your father? Meaning maybe you're so bad, you're so low, that the Creator isn't even considered your father. Is that even if it's true that I am so bad, I am so disconnected, I am so low, that I don't deserve where I am now for the Creator to be my father, which represents, that word represents a deep and strong connection. I can borrow the Creator as my father. There's a verse that says, Sha'al avicha, which literally is translated as ask your father, but the word sha'al also means to borrow. Rabbi Elimelech of Dezhensk tells his son Rabbi Elazar is that there's a secret when a person is not worthy because of his actions to be connected in a strong and deep way to the light of the Creator, he can borrow the Creator as his father. Borrow the Creator. What is the secret of that teaching? Rabbi Brennan continues. In order to feel, to receive the greatest light, we know that there's different layers, different levels to the light of the Creator. The ultimate level is something that is called the level where all imperfections become light, the level where even all the negative things that we have ever done transform into light. In order to merit that ultimate light, which is the light of the end of the correction, which is the light of immortality, in order to merit that light, Brennan says, you can only receive that light if you feel yourself as being perfect. The only way to receive the perfect light, the ultimate light, the light of the Gemara Tikkun, is if you feel yourself as perfect. If you don't feel yourself as perfect, you can't receive the perfect light. Because, as Rabbi Brennan says, there's a concept that is a rule that light doesn't rest on darkness. Blessings don't rest upon a cursed person, place. There has to be an affinity of form, an affinity between the light that is being accessed, that is being drawn, that is being revealed, and the vessel, the individual, that is trying to receive that light. If you want to receive the perfect light, which is the light of the perfection, the light of the end of the correction, the light of immortality, you have to be perfect. If you don't feel yourself as perfect, you can't receive that light. You can receive lesser lights, you can connect to lesser amounts of light, lesser types of light, but the perfect light can't be received by an individual who sees himself as imperfect. So it's quite a conundrum. You can't achieve perfection without receiving the perfect light. You can't receive the perfect light without being perfect. If you're not perfect, you need the perfect light, but you can't receive it because you're not perfect. So what do you do? Rabbi Brennan again explains to the Rab, you cannot receive this perfect light unless you are not just think in a false, egotistical way, but truly perfect. So Rabbi Brennan explains that usually, why does a person look at how he's unworthy, how far he is, how terrible his negative actions are? Those thoughts, Rabbi Brennan says, usually come from the negative side. Worries, difficulties, these thoughts about all the negative things that we've done, usually Rabbi Brennan says they come from the negative side that wants us to fall, that wants us to become unhappy, that wants us to become sad. And we know that the light of the Creator, what is called the Shekhinah, can't rest upon somebody, an individual who is sad. So usually, Rabbi Brennan says, these thoughts of being unworthy, these thoughts of seeing a person's darkness, is usually coming from the negative side, who wants a person to fall to sadness, who wants a person to fall to a place of darkness, therefore making it impossible for the Shekhinah, for the ultimate light of the Creator, to rest upon him. So what do you do? Again, so what do you do? So Rabbi Brennan says, you have to borrow the vessels. Borrow the vessels of perfection. How do you do that? What is the mechanism by which you truly awaken and connect to these vessels of perfection? He says, one thing we know about this process. We know that it began with perfection, in what is called the endless world. We know that it will end in perfection. Every single individual, every single one of us will become perfect. All the negative things we've ever done will be transformed into light. There's a concept that says, lo yidach mimeno nidach, which means no soul will ever be pushed aside. All souls, every single one of us, will achieve perfection. If you understand that, truly understand that regardless of where I am, and Rav Ashlag in the introduction to the Zohar explains that there's three stages. There's where we started, where everything was perfect. There's where we will end, where everything is perfect. And there's the process in the middle, where people aren't necessarily perfect. But we have to be clear that the process will come to its end, that we will achieve perfection. And Reb Brennan says, once you truly understand that you will achieve perfection without a doubt, and you really have that certainty, it's something I think many of us don't necessarily have. We get caught up in the process in the middle, not realizing I will absolutely, definitely achieve perfection. Once you have that consciousness, you have that clarity that you will absolutely become perfect, then you can actually access that perfection from the future and bring it into now. Once you truly understand, and again, not just words you say or even a fleeting thought, but actually have complete consciousness, without a doubt, I will become perfect, I will achieve perfection, you can actually draw those vessels, that sense of perfection into now, and that becomes a vessel into which the perfect light can come. What Reb Brandwein says, and it's important to appreciate how necessary this thought is. No person can receive the perfect light, the light of what's called the end of the correction, unless he himself feels perfect. And the only way, this is the only way by which we can feel perfect, which is that we push aside all the illusion of the now, within which maybe I'm not perfect, and draw the future, my future perfection, and use that certainty, that knowledge, where a person's mind is where he is totally. If I truly know, believe, have certainty, have consciousness that I have no doubt that I will become perfect, and I feel that now, I draw and receive those vessels of perfection into which the perfect light can come. Otherwise, if we do not do this work to awaken these vessels of perfection, we can't receive perfect light. We can receive less light, we can receive diminished light, we can receive imperfect light. But the perfect light, the light of the Gemara Tikkun, the light of the end of the correction, the light of immortality can only come into a perfect vessel. And the only way that we, in our state, can have a vessel of perfection is, as we said, as Reb Brandwein reveals to the Rav, knowing that I will absolutely, definitely achieve perfection. I can draw with that knowledge and with that thought and consciousness, I can draw that vessel of perfection into the now and therefore receive perfect light. So that's a teaching, a very, very, very fundamental, important one, as we said, because without the use of this tool, of this consciousness, a person cannot draw the perfect light. So this is the teaching that Reb Brandwein taught the Rav and taught us. But there's even a deeper understanding. I want to be clear what the first understanding of this secret from Reb Brandwein to the Rav is, which is that, again, in order to receive perfect light, you have to be in a place of perfection. You have to have what's called the vessel of perfection. Being as most of us in reality, at least in this reality, are not perfect, but we know that ultimately we will be. By having that certainty, we can draw that perfection into the now with our consciousness and receive the perfect light into that perfect vessel. That's the only way. But there's a deeper understanding of the secret, and that's what I want to awaken within us on this Shabbat. It's very interesting when you look at the story of what happens on this reading on this Shabbat. Moshe goes up to the mountain 40 days and 40 nights to receive the light that is called the revelation of the Torah, the tablets from the Creator. The Creator is teaching, giving the light, preparing the light for revelation through Moses to the world, the light of immortality, the light of perfection. We know at a certain point, the Israelites fall. It's called the sin of the golden calf, and there's much explanation, discussion exactly what happened. But regardless of the details, the Israelites, and by the way, there is a really beautiful explanation in the Kuzari, which is a very interesting work, about exactly what the fall was. And those of us who have it, I recommend reading it. It's really interesting. But regardless of what the specific fall was, the Israelites came to a place where they no longer were able, and therefore ready, they no longer had a vessel, to receive the perfect light. And then we know Moses comes down from the mountain, he breaks the tablets. So if you're thinking about the story, most of us, I think, those of us who think about the story, think the Creator gives Moses the tablets, Moses comes down, suddenly he discovers that the Israelites have fallen, he breaks the tablets. But the Kabbalists teach, the Midrash tells us that the Israelites fell even before the tablets were given to Moses. Even before the tablets were given to Moses. So if the Israelites had already fallen in what's called the sin of the golden calf, before the tablets were given, why did the Creator give the tablets? He knows what's going to happen. The Creator knows. He knows what's happening now. Moses maybe didn't know. The Creator had to tell him, go down, your people have fallen. But the Creator knew. Even before he gave Moses the tablets, the Israelites had fallen. And he knew that if he gives Moses the tablets, Moses was going to go and break them. So then why did the Creator give Moses the tablets? Let him tell him, look, something's happened. They can't receive this light anymore. What is indicated, the secret of the tablets, the light of immortality. Forget it, go down, try to perfect them, and then come back again when things have changed. What is the purpose of the Creator giving over to Moses the tablets if he knows that a few minutes later he's going to break them? When Moses prays to awaken mercy, to awaken the removal of judgment from the Israelites, he uses a prayer, a meditation that's very powerful that we use till this day. And it begins with the two words, Hashem, Hashem. Two mentions of the Tetragrammaton, the Yud K, Vav K, twice. Throughout the rest of this prayer, of what's called the 13 attributes of mercy, 13 channels of bringing down mercy into this world, different words are used. But in the beginning, there is a repetition of the Tetragrammaton twice. Hashem, Hashem. Tetragrammaton, Yud K, Vav K, Yud K, Vav K. And the Talmud asks, why? We know that Moses had a stutter, but this wasn't why it's written in the Torah, Hashem, Hashem. What is the purpose of the repetition of the Tetragrammaton twice, the name of God twice? And the Talmud tells us that the Creator wanted to teach us that I am God. I am the same Creator before a person falls, and I am the same Creator after a person falls. Hashem, Hashem, repeated twice to tell us that nothing's, as far as the Creator is concerned, the same revelation of light represented by the first Tetragrammaton is equal to the second revelation of the Tetragrammaton, the light of the Creator. Nothing's changed as far as the Creator is concerned. Hashem, Hashem, I am the same God before and the same God afterwards, regardless of what fall, what sin, what negative action an individual has done. What is the secret of that statement? And the answer is both beautiful and inspiring, and hopefully we can both understand it and keep this in our mind. How does the Creator view us? We know how we view ourselves, and often our thoughts about ourselves change every day. But how does the Creator view us? We know that the Creator, or what's called the endless light, is above time. Certainly above space, above motion, but above time. The essence of the light of the Creator exists in a realm beyond time, which means that as far as the light of the Creator is concerned, the perfection that we will achieve at the time of our perfection, at the time of what's called the end of the correction, already exists. As far as the Creator is concerned, there is no sin ever. There is no falling ever. The state of perfection that we will all achieve already exists as far as the Creator is concerned. We, only we, who live within the illusionary world of what's called Etz Hadat Tov, true knowledge, good and evil, we experience elevation and falling and sin and negativity and darkness. But as far as the Creator is concerned, the light of the Creator sees us as perfect all the time. Think about that for a moment. When the light of the Creator looks at me right now, looks at you right now, He sees perfection. Because the fact that in this moment in time, maybe we're not perfect, doesn't influence the reality that we will come to perfection. And that perfection in this place above time already exists. So how does the Creator view us all the time? Perfect. We ask the question, why did the Creator give Moses the tablets after the Israelites sinned? Didn't he know that Moses was going to go down and discover that the Israelites have fallen and therefore have to break the tablets? And the answer is, the Creator doesn't see sin. He doesn't see falling. He doesn't see darkness. As far as the Creator is concerned, there's one line of perfection. Each one of us. When the Creator looked at the Israelites after the golden calf, He still saw perfection. Because the Creator, the true essence of everything, but the essence of the light of the Creator is above time, where our perfection already exists. So as far as the Creator is concerned, there was never a golden calf, there was never a fall of the golden calf. Of course, I'm going to give them the tablets. But the Israelites, they saw themselves as having fallen. Had they not seen themselves as having fallen, had they been able to hold on to what Reb Berman calls the borrowed vessels of perfection, they could have received the tablets as Moses came down even after they fell. But they fell to where all of us fall all the time, to thoughts of imperfection. And because we know this, Rav Ashlag repeats time and again in 10 luminous emanations, the light of the Creator flows always. The vessel, we decide whether we'll receive more or less, and we restrict the light of the Creator from flowing. There's a famous teaching from the Seer of Lublin who said that the reason why the Israelites lost the perfect light, the light of the end of the correction, the light of immortality, was not because they fell, but because of the sadness that they fell to after they fell. Because the Creator sees us always as perfect. And if we're able to be in that same space as the Creator and see ourselves as perfect, we receive all the light. The only reason why we are restricted in the light that we receive is because we don't see ourselves as perfect. Earlier when we were talking about the secret, the revelation that Rav Branman gave the Rav about what's called these borrowed vessels, we said that it's a concept of looking into the future, borrowing from the future. In the future I will be perfect, and therefore now I can use that place, that consciousness, and borrow those vessels and use them now and receive perfect light even now from my future vessel. But now we have a deeper, more beautiful understanding. I'm not borrowing from the future, I'm borrowing from now. Because as far as the Creator is concerned, I am perfect now. So it's not just that I have to look into the future and borrow my future vessel, I have to simply connect to the perfection that the Creator sees in me now. That's the secret of Hashem Hashem. It says, I am God before you sin, I am God after you sin. The same light. As far as the Creator is concerned, there is no sin. There is no imperfection. It says in the Torah, there's a verse that says, Lo yibit aven beYaakov, v'lo ra'a amal b'Yisrael. The Creator sees no sin, the Creator sees no falling. What does that mean? Now we understand. The Creator sees us right now as perfect. It's not just that because of in the future, as we initially thought, because in the future I will be perfect, I can borrow those vessels to now. What we need to do is start viewing ourselves as the Creator views us now. And if we're able to understand that, if we're able to receive that, then we have the vessels of perfection now, and we can receive the light of perfection now. The negative side, what the negative side has convinced us of this lie, that I'm not perfect now. But that's all within the illusion of time and space, and all within the illusion of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Right now, the Creator sees every single one of us as perfect. And if we're able to touch that reality, if we're able to see that reality, we receive the perfect light right now. One of the great gifts that Moses gives us on the Shabbat, the Creator gives us on the Shabbat, Hashem Hashem, to understand that there is no difference in the Creator's perception, the Creator's light, in the Creator's view of us ever. It is only we who view ourselves as sinners, who view ourselves as having fallen, who view ourselves as having done something negative, and therefore, well, I can't receive the light now. But how, and this is what we have to keep reminding ourselves. The reason why the Creator gave Moses the tablets after the Israelites sinned, because the Creator doesn't see sin. The Creator's light, the true perfection exists, and that's where the light of the Creator resides. And what we have to do is start seeing ourselves now as the Creator sees ourselves now. To see ourselves as perfect, to see our perfection now, and through that consciousness, we're able to have a vessel for the complete light of the revelation of the light of the Creator. Now we understand we can't, chas v'shalom, come to the end of the correction until we start seeing ourselves as perfect. Until we start attaching ourselves, connecting to where the Creator is, to how the Creator sees us. You will not achieve perfection as long as you don't see yourself as perfect. It's true, within the illusion of this world, with the illusion of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, I've fallen, I've gotten up, I've done this wrong and that wrong, and I've created this darkness, this negativity. But that's all illusion. That's not where the Creator is, and that's not where I need to be. If I am able to connect to how the Creator sees me, which is perfect right now, I have that vessel that can receive the perfect light right now. Without that, chas v'shalom, a person can never come to the Gemara Tikkun, to the end of the correction. The first gift, again, that we can receive on the Shabbat, is an appreciation, an understanding of how the Creator sees us, and to truly be able to see ourselves as the Creator sees us, as perfect. And when we truly see ourselves in that way, we can receive the perfect light. The light at the end of the correction, the right light of immortality.